Hey PCWorld fans, Adam here with Will.
Hi.
And the embargoes have lifted for the 5070 Ti. It's up, the reviews are up, but this isn't a review.
No, this isn't a review. You ran the benchmarks.
I did.
You ran a bunch of benchmarks. There's a review over at PCWorld.com. Our friend Brad Charkis wrote it. It's a great review. You should go read it.
Go check it out.
Watch the video first, then go read it. But we were looking, after you ran the benchmarks, we had some questions,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Because the thing about this card was, we looked at 1440p, great card, right? 1080p, probably better. We didn't bother to run those benchmarks because
there's other people doing that testing.
it's going to be fine.
Go watch that stuff.
Yeah. The question I had when you sent these numbers over was, wow, this is a 16 gig card. It performs about the same as a 4080 Super. It has some extra secret sauce in this DLSS 4 stuff with the multi-frame gen and the new upscaling stuff and all that. Is this a 4K card and not a 1440p card?
I don't know. Yeah, that's why we want to get in here. So I sat down over the weekend and tested and played 20 DLSS 4 games. I look at the list of the 75 plus games at launch and just started to pick through the ones I already had in my library, and I was able to get through 20 of them to a spot where I felt like I could sit down and talk to you about my experience in each of them. And
just to be clear, because so much of the centers on whether DLSS 4 works well, whether the multi-frame gen stuff feels good, whether the upscaling feels good, and also none of these games have benchmarks built in except for I think one or maybe two.
Yeah.
You didn't, like, this is experiential testing. This isn't running benchmarks.
Yeah.
This is you sitting down, playing a game, getting familiar with the game, getting comfortable with the game, deciding if it feels good to you, and we're gonna talk about some of them.
Yeah. But first up, let's go over how I actually tested it, starting with the hardware. So the easiest way for me to do it was to throw it in my small form factor gaming rig, which up until recently, with all this GPU testing, I was mainlining a 4080 in here, and specifically the ProArt card. You can go look at the rest of the guts of the system, linked down in the description, but the CPU that it's paired with is a Ryzen 7 7800 X3D. So small form factor gaming, but it was easy to take it around and kind of use it in different testing scenarios, because one scenario I used it in is what I've been doing for a while, and that's plugging it into my TV, which is a Samsung Frame TV. It's a 65-inch, 4K, 120 hertz with FreeSync Premium Pro. Not a gaming TV, but actually does okay with gaming, so I like that. But we called in some firepower, and both MSI and Asus sent us their new QD OLED panels that they announced at CES.
So these are 240 hertz QD OLEDs. They're really bright. They have beautiful black levels, 1000 nit HDR displays, and they're the highest resolution, fastest refresh rate monitors I've ever tested. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Stuff looks real good on them.
Well, and like on a 5090, we know how that performs in a lot of ways. I was like, you don't really even need multi-frame gen for that. So this is definitely a card where it's like, okay, well to be able to hit 4K 240 hertz, you're probably wanting some multi-frame gen to get into that.
Yeah. So what was your setup for this? You set up the machine, you got a big bag of Cheetos and a bucket of fried chicken, and just went and played games all weekend?
Exactly, yeah. And so what I did, I'm a visual bells and whistles guy, so essentially I wanted to try to max out all the settings I could, and rely on maybe a little bit of upscaling to try to hit a stable 60-ish FPS.
And that 60-ish is an important number.
Yes.
Because it's the base level to get good results out of the frame gen. Lower than that and you get kind of hinky results.
Yeah.
More than that, you're making your GPU work too hard.
Yeah, so I started with frame gen off, in all flavors of frame gen off, and just tried to make sure I got a good 60-ish experience. It depends on the game. Some of them I was able to go low. So some of them didn't even need upscaling to get past 60. And then at that point, turn on multi-frame gen to see like how close I can get to that 240 hertz sweetness.
And is this the process you'd recommend for people who want to try out multi-frame gen on one of these 5 series cards?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, making sure that you have your settings dialed in pre-frame gen and then adding that on top of it to get a higher refresh rate.
Got it.
Assuming you already have a high refresh rate card.
So what's the TLDR, Adam?
So TLDR, I went into this wanting to really pick apart multi-frame gen, especially around the image quality. I'm not really sensitive to latency, anything like that. For me, it's all about image. And the original frame gen, the original implementation of frame gen, there were too many instances where it just degraded the image quality to a point where I was like, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to figure out other ways to get a different experience.
Get the numbers where you wanted them.
Yeah, but here it just works. It is like I was able to play these 20 games in various settings. We're not going to go through each one of these games setting by setting, but for the most part, I maxed it out and had to rely on a little bit of upscaling to get to that 60 FPS, and then turn it on, and wow, it just worked.
Yeah,
it was crazy, and not only that, it didn't look bad. Like I was really sitting there trying to like pick it apart, and like under normal just play circumstances, I couldn't.
One of the things I've noticed, and we'll talk about this more in a deep dive on DLSS 4 stuff later in the not too distant future. One of the things I noticed is that once you're running at 120, 160, 180, 200 frames a second, you can't tell the difference between the artifacts from the game or the artifacts from the DLSS stuff. It just all kind of goes by so fast you don't even mentally recognize a lot of it.
So yeah, it's after you turn it on, it's blistering fast. Now turning it on is definitely a little bit of a different step. Some of these games, I think there was only 4 of them on this list of 20, have native implementation, meaning inside the game, you can turn on frame gen 2 times 2 times 3 or times 4. You get to pick, you don't have to leave the game. It was nice and easy like that.
And that means it renders 1 frame the traditional way, and then either 1 additional frame, 2 additional frames, or 3 additional frames with the tensor cores, with the AI cores on the card.
Exactly. And the games that don't have it natively built in, you have to make sure the game's not running, go into the NVIDIA app and do an override. And in the override, you can only get times 3 or times 4. So essentially 2 extra frames or 3 extra frames.
And just to be clear, NVIDIA announced that they had, I think, 75 games on launch day for the 5090 that supported multi-frame gen DLSS 4 features.
Yes.
Only a handful of them have native support. Most of them are with this override thing in the NVIDIA app, right?
Yeah. And actually, one of them was on the list, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I went to go play a good chunk of that, got my settings right, and then went to go turn on frame gen and realized, wait, well, it's not in the menu. Okay, well, let's close the game. It must be in the driver. Oh, it's not in the driver either.
Whoops.
That is one I had to go back and look at the NVIDIA's page and be like, oh, well, it's coming in a patch. So even though they said it was ready at day 0, that one wasn't at day 0. But yeah, I tried it anyway.
Okay.
But either way, I mean, it was a good experience. And when you do have it turned on at the driver level of times 3 or times 4, that means the frame gen toggle in the actual game itself is turning it on just to that. So instead of frame gen hitting times 2, which that toggle would enable, that's why you only get times 3 or times 4 in the driver, because that's, yeah. So you can't, the toggle on and off is times 4 on or off, depending on how you set it.
Okay, so what's the TLDR here, Adam? Can you play games at 4K with like all of the bells and whistles turned up on this 5070 Ti?
Yeah, for the most part, yes. And some of the games was actually blowing past the stable 60 to the point where I was like, oh, I don't even need multi-frame gen. Like I configured Ghost Runner 2 max settings, and yeah, I was getting like 190 frames already. And so I was like, all right, well, I guess I don't necessarily need multi-frame gen, but I turned it on just for fun. So some of them, was able to get far and above. Some of them struggled.
Okay.
Yeah, there were a couple instances where I ran into the VRAM limitations, or it seemed to me that it was the VRAM limitations. The first one was Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that game uses a lot of VRAM.
Yeah, and specifically like texture pool sizes, things like that. So that one, like, regardless of multi-frame gen on or off, which it not implemented yet, it would just above certain settings, it just like would literally sit there and chug and give me like three frames a second.
And you're just seeing frame rate churn constantly when you're in high RAM usage areas.
Yeah. So that one was really bad, and the other one was Star Wars Outlaws,
which is another video memory hog game.
Yeah. So like the thing is that multi-frame gen is not going to help you get past any of those problems. You need to make sure your base level of frame rate is still going to work within those VRAM limitations. So there were 2 games on this list out of 20 that I wasn't able to go all the way maxed out quality, mostly because of VRAM limitations.
Were you able to dial back like texture sizes or something like that to get to a point that it ran?
So I just dialed back presets. I didn't go like per setting. I just dialed back a preset, 1 or 2 to get what I needed, which is fine. Some of these I I relied on upscaling. Most of them were set to quality, which is at 4K is set to 1440p is what it's rendering at, and then upscaling past that. A couple of them I actually did need to go down to balance, like Indiana Jones. I had to run a balanced. Cyberpunk with RT Overdrive on, I had to go down to balance. So some of these were rendering at 1080p.
So the path tracing games is what it sounds like. The ones that do the full ray tracing implementation.
Exactly. Okay. So, but I mean, that is going to be more and more of the future, right?
Well, I mean, and that's the place we are right now. When we're talking about games that have these really complicated renders that are doing a lot of ray tracing math and a lot of like textures layered on top of effects and all sorts of shader programs running on the textures, it's a lot of VRAM.
Yeah. So before we wrap it up, I do want to get to a couple things, because even though this is actually pretty transformative for me and turns the 50 series into something different in the handful of games that it supports, I hope more games get this support, because I am honestly excited to use it more. There are some caveats or things that people should know about before using multi-frame gen. Like first up, native implementation versus a driver. It definitely, you need to set the settings, close the game, turn it on in the driver, then go ahead and turn it on in the game kind of thing. So it takes you a little bit out of the experience. I want more and more games to have native implementation of the different frame gen modes, but
Well, and there's also multiple chances for you to mess up a setting somewhere along the way that means it won't turn on, right? Or you'll be running the old frame gen model instead of the new frame gen model or whatever, right?
Exactly. And on top of that, some games implement frame gen differently, where in order to engage frame gen, some games allow you to just have a toggle regardless of upscaling. Some of them you have to enable upscaling to even get to the frame gen option. So some of the games like Ghost Runner 2, it was already running really high frame rates, but the only way for me to turn frame gen on, whether it's in the driver or not, was to enable DLSS quality. So I didn't need to have that upscaling. I could have ran it natively. So that's a little bit of a bummer. That's an implementation thing, but I think that's just consistency, because there's some games I was able to get around that by just running DLAA, which is essentially anti-aliasing, and then that would give me the option for frame gen without having to worry about upscaling. But Ghost Runner 2 and a couple others specifically, I had to pick quality, which was the highest option that they had.
So do you know if you're getting the DLSS 4 features if you're not doing the 3X and 4X frame gen? Like if you're just running the 2X on, say, Indiana Jones, are you getting the hardware frame pacing and all that kind of stuff? Or is that unknown at this point? It
depends, because DLSS 4 is a package of technologies, right? And sometimes it is hard to tell, okay, is it using the new transformer model? Does it have the hardware frame pacing, all that kind of stuff. You can override some of those in the driver, like the transformer model versus CNN. But the hardware pacing thing is actually built into the hardware. So instead of taking the frame pacing onto the CPU, it puts it onto the GPU, and it gets them more even. So in terms of latency, that's definitely a big thing for that. But for the most part, I was on controller, and it wasn't a big deal.
You weren't noticing.
Yeah.
What about other stuff? Is there anything else that was weird?
Yeah. So tearing. Tearing can still happen. Multi-frame gen is not a silver bullet for certain things, like tearing. Yes, I was playing on VRR displays, but if you don't have a VRR display, or you're blowing further past the refresh rate that you can actually hit, then you could still get some tearing. It's not gonna just magically fix tearing, but it also depends on your setup and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just people need to know that it's not gonna solve for that. And because of the way multi-frame gen works, you can't have VSync on at the same time.
Well, I was gonna say that, and also if you say frame limit the game with the frame limiter in the game, it locks your raster pipeline, your traditional renders frame rate, but it doesn't control the multi-frame gen beyond that, right?
Yeah. The best case scenario for me would be to say, okay, you know what, I set the raster and I want frame gen to get me up to a specific frame rate, like 120 on my TV, right? Where it's okay, I got 60, but a ×2 isn't necessarily getting me to 120. And times 4 blows past 120. I wish you could set a cap for the multi-frame gen and have it, but when you do use caps, you're capping the actual rendered frames, and then the multi-frame gen is just doing what it's doing on top of that. Also, multi-frame gen is not a silver bullet for shader comp stutters. So a couple games specifically, like Silent Hill 2 and Star Wars Jedi Survivor are notorious for Unreal Engine shader compilation stutters, and multi-frame gen does not just magically fix those, right? Because if the base frame rate is having those stutters, multi-frame gen is just adding on top of that, so you still feel the stutters.
I was playing Avowed this weekend on a 5090, and I saw some like there's a big shader compile at the start of that game, and I still saw shader compile stutters as I was going through the town the first time and stuff like that. So shader compile stutters are a blight on gaming right now. The good news is usually once you hit them the first time, you're not going to see that same stutter again. But there's plenty more shaders out there to stutter when they have to do the compile and install your entire pipeline.
Yeah, and this is not going to fix that at all, unfortunately. And the last thing to note real quick is that multi-frame gen does not get engaged, or any frame gen does not get engaged in certain games in either menus or cutscenes. So it can be a little jarring to. I think Star Wars Outlaws, you go into certain cutscenes, and all of a sudden you were running at 200 frames a second, and now you're running down at 60, and it's like, oh, okay, that was a little jarring.
I'm going to say the menus is actually, I think, a best practice these days. Is usually people recommend you throttle the menus just for A, power consumption, but also B, a few years ago there were some problems with some aftermarket cards or AIB cards where games were running menus at like 900 frames a second and blowing out frame buffers or something on the card. So a little good with the bad there.
Yeah. Either way, at the end of the day, multi-frame gen has made me a believer. I've said this before. I feel like multi-frame gen to frame gen is what DLSS 2 for upscaling was DLSS 1.
You're convinced?
The original implementation just, I wasn't really on board, and I didn't use it that often. I was forcing myself to use it to try to get comfortable with it. Multi-frame gen, completely different.
I'll say my time with it has made me a believer on the vast majority of games I've played, even with mouse and keyboard. I know you're generally a gamepad guy, but I've been kind of blown away by it on mouse and keyboard. Not with multiplayer stuff, because it has some latency stuff with there, but single player, I'll totally take those frames.
Yeah, and like I said, with the 5090 review, it's kind of hard to look at multi-frame gen because the 5090 is already super powerful.
You really didn't need it.
Yeah, so that's why we wanted to do it with the 5070 Ti, and right around the corner is the 5070, so even lower. And the question will be, can you get stable enough frame rate in the first place at 4K to then turn on multi-frame gen and hit high refresh rate?
Well, and for me, looking at the numbers from testing and comparing not just to the 4070 Ti, but to the 4080 Super, I feel like this is a sweet spot in terms of performance from what I want generation to generation in a way that kind of the other cards haven't been. Like the 5090 is pretty good. The 5080 was kind of meh, I think was where we ended up. And this feels good. There's some contingencies that we don't need to get into here. Like it's weird. Things are weird right now in pricing. But like if the pricing issues weren't here, I feel like this card I'd be really excited about this card in a way that it's unfortunate that we have some external pricing stuff happening that's making everything complicated.
Yeah. Well, and also complicated is the fact that multi-frame gen definitely is something you just need to try.
Yeah.
Right? Like all the B-roll you saw is us playing off of a monitor, because if we got direct capture, you're not going to see 240 frames a second at 4K anyway. So
YouTube will munge that whatever we feed into it up, and it'll all look like YouTube at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The other thing that I know as somebody who's done a lot of time with player testing in VR and other places where like human perception differences of things like frame rate and resolution, color depths, and things like that come out, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody has a different ability to perceive things like frame rate and artifacting and all the different things that change in video games. And there are going to be people that are at the high end of the perception scale that will see the frame rate changes the way that maybe you or I are not picking up. But I feel like I'm pretty good at that kind of stuff, and I've been really pleased with the way these have performed so far. So
yeah. Either way, this was super fun. I'm glad we tried this different approach to testing. Once again, read the full review over on PCWorld.com. We have follow-up videos where I actually review the physical card itself, where we're going to do a live stream, kind of sitting back and covering the launch day shenanigans, all that kind of fun stuff.
Worth mentioning, this is the only SKU in this 5 Series family that there's no Founders Edition boards. So it's only AIB boards in the 5070 Ti. The 5070, 5080, and 5090 all had Founders Editions. Yep. So you know, the AI board, the differences of the different AIBs are going to make a difference here. So
yeah, for sure.
Pay attention to those reviews.
And I'm definitely excited to see everybody else's take on the multi-frame gen stuff. Like if you've used it, if you're one of the few out there that has a 50 series card, like comment down, and I'm really curious to see what people think of multi-frame gen as it gets into more people's hands. So yeah,
Same.
fun times. Thanks, Will, for going through all this testing with me. I
Always a
appreciate
pleasure.
it. Thank you for watching, and if you want to watch more testing on GPUs, hit this video over here. We got more GPU shenanigans right below Will.
It's
Somewhere
like,
around here. I can't remember. Yeah.
It's like it's you know, it'll move around. Bye, everybody.